Today we are going to deal with the problem which is end of chapter problem, 13th one. The question says the midpoints of the sides of triangle ABC. So let us draw a triangle first. Triangle ABC are the points D, E and F. So from the question it is clear that D, E, F are the midpoints. So we go in that manner only. D is a midpoint here, E is a midpoint here, F is a midpoint here. Given that the coordinates of D, E, F are so and so. So these coordinates are 5 and 1, E's coordinates are 6 and 5, F's coordinate is 0 and 3. Now what are we supposed to find? Find the coordinates of A, B and C. So let us assume that the coordinates of A are x1 and y1. Coordinates of B are x2, y2. Coordinates of C are x3, y3. Now from the diagram we can see that D is a midpoint of A and B. So what can we say about the midpoint? Midpoint D is equal to nothing but, we can use our midpoint formula. Now recall, what is the midpoint formula? Midpoint formula is nothing but sum of the x coordinates divided by 2 and sum of y coordinates divided by 2. In this case it is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And you know the coordinates of D as well. What are the coordinates of D? 5, 1. This is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Similarly, we can find the midpoint E in this manner, that is x2 plus x3 upon 2, y2 plus y3 upon 2. So what is the coordinate for E? 6, 5. That is equal to x2, x3 upon 2 and y2, y3 upon 2. And now we will solve this. Now what do you get from here? 5 is equal to x1 plus x2 upon 2 and 1 is equal to y1 plus y2 upon 2. So this is nothing but 10 is equal to x1 plus x2. 2 is equal to y1 plus y2. Similarly, you have 6 is equal to x2 plus x3 upon 2. 5 is equal to y2 plus y3 upon 2. That is 12 is equal to x2 plus x3. This is 10 is equal to y2 plus y3. So we have 4 equations. Now, similarly, you can find for the F point, that is, what are the end points of the segment AC? Midpoint D of what? Of segment AB. This is midpoint E of segment BC. Midpoint F is for segment AC. Segment or side, whichever is convenient to you use. You can write like that: side AC, side AB, side BC. You can also call it as segment. You can also call this as side. Because we are considering a triangle, it is better to write side instead of a segment. Clear? So how do you find the midpoint of side AC? That is nothing but the endpoints, x1 plus x3 upon 2, y1 plus y3 upon 2. Clear? Now what do you have the coordinates of f as 0, 3? So this is nothing but 0 is equal to x1 plus x3 upon 2 and 3 is equal to y1 plus y3 upon 2. So from here you get these two equations, x1 plus x3 is equal to 0 and y1 plus y3 is equal to 6. Now as we can see, we have 6 different equations. First equation, second equation, third equation, fourth equation, fifth equation and sixth equation. And you can see no two equations have the same variables. This equation has x1 and x2. This equation has x1 and x3. And this equation has x2 and x3. No two equations have the same variables. So how do we solve such type of linear equations is a question. Now to answer this question, there's a simple way of called as substitution. Now how do we go for substitution? First let us mark these equations as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now for my convenience, I am just listing out these 6 equations. First equation is x1 plus x2 is equal to 10. The second equation is y1 plus y2 is equal to 2. Third equation is x2 plus x3 is equal to 12. The fourth equation is y2 plus y3 is equal to 10. The fifth equation is x1 plus x3 is equal to 0. The sixth equation is y1 plus y3 is equal to 6. Now let me raise the board. Now you have 6 set of equations with 6 combinations of variables in it. Now our task is to find the values for x1, x2, x3, y1, y2 and y3. That's how we can find the coordinates of a, b and c. So how to go for it? First, see here. This is an equation in x1 and x2. And this is an equation in x2 and x3. So what we can do is, we can just use these two equations and get an equation which is just in terms of x1 and x2. Then how do we approach for doing so? The only approach we can use is C. Just name the equations. We already did that. You must be having that. This is for my purpose. I have written it together. Now let us consider equation 1. Consider equation 1. What you have? x1 plus x2 is equal to 10. So just take x1 is equal to 10 minus x2. Then substitute this in this equation. So substitute value of x1 is equal to 10 minus x2 in equation. Which equation you will be substituting? You want something in x1, right? So you can substitute in this. But doing so, will we get something better? Do you think? If we substitute, let us see. In equation 5, if we are substituting, what you will be getting? This was the equation, x1 plus x3 is equal to 0. So that will be 10 minus x2 plus x3 is equal to 0. So that will give you x3 minus x2 is equal to minus 10. Now you have got an equation x3 and x2, and you already have an equation which is in x2 and x3. So this is one equation in x2 and x3, and the other equation is x2 plus x3 is equal to 12. So now you can name this equation as 7, and you have equation x2 plus x3 is equal to 12. So now what you can do, you just add these two equations. Now why we are adding and why we are not subtracting? Just have a look. x3 minus x2 is equal to minus 10. x2 plus x3 is equal to 12. Because the sign of x2 is negative here and the sign of x2 is positive here. Just simply adding them will get rid of these x2 from the equations, and we will easily get the value for x3. So that is the purpose behind adding these equations. So just add them. Add 7 and 3. Adding 7 and 3 will give you, what you will get? Just tell me. That is x3 minus x2 is equal to minus 10. x2 plus x3 is equal to 12. So that is nothing but this. If you want, you can just rearrange the terms for your own convenience, but I don't think so. There is nothing to rearrange. So you can just write 2 times x3 is equal to, what will come? 12 minus 10 is 2. So x3 is nothing but 2 upon 2, that is 1. Right? Now you know x3 is 1. Use any of the equations to get the value for x2. Now we'll use this equation. Using equation 3, what we get? Just substitute the value. x2 plus x3 is 1. What is the value? 12. So x2 is equal to 12 minus 1, that is 11. So you got the values for x2 and x3. Is it clear? Pause it.